Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is May 23rd, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Tesla rocks higher and makes a comeback. But first, looking at the major economic events of today. So we have a flash manufacturing and services PMI numbers coming out from two countries. First starting out from Great Britain, and that's going to be at 10:30 South African time. And then out of the United States, same number coming out at 3:45 for the US. Now, looking at the various markets going into today, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the Turkish Lira continue to trickle lower. And looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both trickle lower as well. Now looking at commodities, gold retracing to support while oil remains unchanged. And while we look at the stocks, Microsoft still strong while the rest of the tech sector kind of trickles lower. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin popping right at support. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here's the Turkish Lira in all its glory. We're first looking, at a daily chart, and clearly it is just getting weaker and weaker. 1984 right now, sounds like the year. But as you look at a 1 hour chart, and even more as a 15-minute chart, you see the gap up and go, gap up and go, gap up and go. Now, looking at a weekly chart, it gets a little bit scarier at these levels, considering historically where it's been, to kind of buy the dollar against the Turkish Lira in anticipation that the Turkish Lira is going to get weaker. However, when there will be a correction, it'll be fast and furious, and it'll create some really unique opportunities. So just be on top of it. It doesn't mean that you have to trade it, but just be on top of it, okay? Now, there are things in Forex symbols that take a little bit longer to kind of develop, so keep that in mind. However, looking at the Japanese yen, we look like we're making a double top here on a 4-hour chart, looking at the top of a range here for the Japanese yen versus the dollar. As you can see, we did get weaker than the 200-day moving average on a daily, so that's important. And looking at a weekly, obviously we're way above where we quote-unquote should be, but if this does clear 140, this will go back to 150 again, so just keep that in mind. Now, looking at the other markets, first, starting out with gold, we're retracing back to supportish area. You could see that on a 4-hour chart a little bit clearer as it's making that double bottom. Now, if it breaches 1950, that's disconcerting. So keep that in mind if that does get breached. Looking at crude oil, not doing much. $71 really just trading sideways for now. Jumping into the U.S. markets, though, the Dow Jones did trickle lower. 33,300-ish levels where we're at right now. And looking at the NASDAQ, also retracing from 13,954 down about 50 points. Not a big deal, but some of the stocks are making some corrections. Apple, a little bit on the downside, even though it gapped down and was an up day, but it's still gapped down on a daily. You can see that a little bit clearer. Looking at Facebook, also retracing just a tab. Not a big deal, but retracing tab to tab. Microsoft, though, on its highs, not getting weaker. So this is still kind of questionable about which way the markets are going to continue going today. Now, looking at Tesla, look at that rip back to 188 from 169. That is where it seems to be. Now, if it does break and clear this, we could be back at the 200-ish level, and that is something good for Tesla. Now, lastly, jumping into Bitcoin, there we go. Popped at supportish level of 26,600-ish level, and boom, we're at 27,200-ish level. 600 points. Very easy, trading in the range, just buy the top of the bottom of the range, sell the top of the range. And if it clears 27,500, we could be back at 28,000 as well. So keep that in mind as well. So markets are choppy. We are in May, kind of like getting into that summer mode, but there are still opportunities. We'll see you here tomorrow on the Daily Review. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.